Calling your own artwork ugly might sound like a bad thing, but just hear me out. So as a person who is just starting kind of their artist journey, this word artist is pretty intimidating as something that I'm trying to call myself soon, and also something that I see as part of my future. I have been kind of struggling, as most probably beginner artists or even artists who have been doing this for a long time, just getting through the roller coaster ride that is creating a piece. It's when you start a new project and you're really, really excited about it, and then you kind of get to this point where you start doubting and kind of start crashing on the whole project, thinking it's terrible. Maybe if you're doing a painting, you're in the ugly phase. We all know the ugly phase of a creation. But this low point does usually come back up and you start to enjoy it again, and you kind of push past that. You either climb all the way back up to finishing the piece, which is achievement on its own, or you get somewhere where you're actually happy with it. But it's in this low point that if you repeatedly stop your process there, then it gets really frustrating. And it can happen when you're just not happy with the work, or you keep scrapping projects because you think it's not going well. But let me tell you, that's where the ugly art era comes in. So it's just completely a mindset, and it's kind of tricking me into getting past this, because I can just say, fine, it's part of my ugly art era. I don't have to worry if anybody is judging me for it. And trust me, I've made some pretty ugly things, but it's just about making the next one then. It just really frees up the mindset that everything you make has to be perfect. And the sketchbook is meant to be a sketchbook. It's meant to be a place of messes and meant to be a place to experiment. Maybe I should try to show you what I mean. For example, I am kind of intimidated by large scale things. Usually I work on really, really tiny things in a sketchbook or random scraps of paper. So I'm trying to get more comfortable with the potential of having a canvas size that's really large. First, I have to hide my screen, so I can't also see it. I'm gonna try to just make a portrait as big as I can without looking. And to make it harder, I'm also gonna use my left hand because of the framing. Okay. So the goal is not to make something ugly. The goal is much more just to try something and not let this trying to make something perfect stop you from trying it at all. This is really hard. So it's more about just like continuing your practice, and just continue practicing until you find something you're happy with, or you have something you want to explore more of, and not getting stuck in the process so that you don't just like stop making things. Okay, interesting. It's supposed to be a self-portrait. Does it look like me? So then next time I could maybe analyze this and figure out, oh, do I actually like drawing with one single line? Maybe I can draw it with more intention next time, and then just build up my practice in that way to kind of get to a new place where you can feel like you made the perfect piece. Does that make sense? So I really just am trying different materials lately and having so much fun with that. I'm also going out in public more with like urban sketching and going to cafes and drawing. I have a whole notebook actually dedicated. Where is it? I love these notebooks. This is already the second one that I'm going through, because this notebook cost me, I think, €2 or something really cheap. And the paper quality is decent enough to hold watercolor and some ink. And it kind of gets really worn and wrinkly and everything as I'm going, but it doesn't feel precious to me. And I think that's really important, and why I actually enjoy using this kind of notebook to go around with, instead of this one that feels like really fancy, right now at least. I've also been watching a ton of art YouTube lately, and it's kind of been a similar theme of people mentioning that you just gotta get stuff done, even if it's just for yourself and no one's going to see it. You know, you shouldn't have it locked inside of you just because you're afraid of how the outcome is going to be. Why don't we just embrace the ugly parts of art creation as well? I mean, to be honest, all of these pages that I've done that are ugly were also really fun to make. So, and I've only kind of just been living with this idea for a few days, and I feel so much better about it. So all I'm trying to say in this short video is that artists should be allowed different eras, and they should change whenever they feel like it. For me right now, as a beginner, it's just embracing the ugly. And even making this video, I've also kind of kept that mindset, because I'm making this super fast and a very short video because I'm actually currently packing. So tomorrow morning I am heading out on a trip, and I hope to also bring you guys along. I'm going to be exploring a bit more of Europe, and I hope to be able to film as much as I can and maybe do some sketching, or at least bring back some inspiration from the cities I go to. I want to finish editing this video before I have to finish packing, but since you guys are with me, why don't we pack up some of my art supplies and I'll show you what I'm bringing along, because at least that'll be one more thing packed. So of course I'll be bringing my favorite notebook, and I always like to carry a fountain pen with me, black fountain ink, just so I can refill on the go, because this doesn't carry quite as much as I want for a 2-week trip. I also have the new parallel pen, which I'm hoping I can refill with my ink while I'm away. I'm gonna bring this gold pen for a little bit of fun. One singular colored pencil, because these are the Polychromos, and they are so nice, and I only have 2 colors of this, and I've really been enjoying this blue, so this one's coming with me. I love this little travel Winsor & Newton watercolor set. It looks very chaotic, but this is just so easy to carry around, and it kind of has everything I need. It even comes with a small brush as well, which is very useful, but I like to just throw in at least one more somewhat larger brush. And that is actually all that I take, because everything here can fit in a small pouch and just one notebook, and this can fit in any bag that I have essentially. So it is the ideal little carry to go, just urban sketching thing, kind of to do certain things like this. I figured if I need some more, I can always explore a little bit of what the Netherlands has to offer for art supplies. So really it's all just about mindset, and if it helps for you to say, yeah, I'm going through my ugly phase, then embrace it. I'm definitely going to be doing that.